So, did you know that your heart actually sends electrical signals to your brain before you feel fear? In a study published in the Journal of Behavioral Therapy and Experimental Psychiatry, researchers found that there's actually a physical response in your body that happens before you consciously feel fear. And this makes sense because the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear, receives its input from the body through the nervous system. And then, after 30 seconds, they would move the stimulus away from them, and then they would self-report how afraid they felt on a scale from 1 to 7. And researchers were able to measure the activity in the amygdala using fMRI while they were doing this task. So the researchers in this study were actually able to measure the activity in the amygdala before a person reported feeling afraid. So this could be good information if you're trying to treat a phobia. Our thoughts, feelings, and emotions have a huge impact on our body and vice versa. So if you want to feel better, it's important to take care of both our mind and our body. So some people had a huge response in their amygdala, like it was really active, but they didn't report feeling that afraid. And other people reported feeling very afraid, but their amygdala wasn't very active. So there's a disconnect between our physical response and our emotional response. If you can identify the triggers that turn on the amygdala and then work to reduce the response in the body to those triggers, then that might be a way to reduce fear responses in people with phobias. They found that the signal from the body to the brain happened about 1 second before the person felt the emotion of fear. And this was done by having participants hold a fear-inducing stimulus, like a picture of a spider or a snake, in their hand for 30 seconds. And sometimes those two things don't match up. Sometimes our body will be in a state of high arousal, like we'll have a huge response in the amygdala, but we won't feel afraid. And sometimes we'll feel really afraid, but our body won't show any signs of fear. And what they found is that the brain region that lights up when we feel fear actually starts sending signals to the brain before we consciously feel it. Another thing that was interesting that they found is that there was no correlation between the brain response and the self-reported fear. This is really interesting because it shows that our feelings are actually a combination of both our body's response and our brain's response. So this is just another example of how the mind-body connection is so important. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe so you can learn more about how the mind and body work together to create our experiences in the world.